The Atrium Alpha Opportunity Fund Incorporated has one mission: to look for the winners of tomorrow. The fund actively finds the fastest-growing Philippine companies with high-quality management and sound business strategies. This growth has often translated to higher stock prices. The fund has a proven track record of selecting companies outside the Philippine Stock Exchange Index that were eventually included in major indices, while most funds in the market stay within the Philippines' top 30 companies. This has led the fund to consistently outperform the market in the long term. Furthermore, the fund invests in long-term drivers of growth that could provide significant gains for investors, such as technological advancement, tourism, infrastructure, and sustainability. Invest in the potential of the best growth stories the Philippines has to offer. Invest in the Atrium Alpha Opportunity Fund Incorporated. For more information, visit www.atrium.com.ph. What is a bond fund? Why invest in a bond fund instead of directly investing in bonds of actual companies? Corporate bonds are borrowings of companies to help finance their operations. In general, bonds are interest-bearing investments. You earn interest when you buy this particular investment. Think of a single corporate bond like a plant. It grows over time and blooms. Meanwhile, a corporate bond fund is more like a garden. A garden is more satisfying than a single plant. It contains different types of plants and flowers that are carefully picked and monitored by gardeners. They are studied every day to ensure that they will grow and bear fruit. The Atrium Corporate Bond Fund is designed similarly. Recommended to investors with a moderate risk appetite, the fund provides you returns like that of a corporate bond but invested into multiple corporate bonds, providing you more safety in case one of the multiple companies are unable to pay. Diversification is ensured to make the fund more efficient and stronger than owning a single bond. The fund pays regular annual dividends, providing you with a small stream of income. Unlike a corporate bond, the fund provides you liquidity without sacrificing the price. And lastly, the fund is actively managed and constantly studied to minimize the risk of the fund losing money. Invest in corporate stability. Invest in the Atrium Corporate Bond Fund. For more information, visit www.atrium.com.ph.
Hello and good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to another exclusive ATRAM interview series where we feature the top business minds of the country. I am JP Chong, Business Development Manager, and I will be your host for today. Investing in real estate is deemed to be one of the best investments globally, and the country's real estate market has been pierced with high investments arising from the existence of both domestic and international players. Amidst the pandemic, the industry has been making a lot of effort to get more opportunities for innovation. This only means that the future of real estate is indeed promising. Certainly, an industry that requires a leader that can adapt to the ever-changing needs of the clients and of course society, we are very pleased and honored to have with us today Robinsons Land Corporation's Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Frederick Go, together with ATRAM's very own Chief Executive Officer for Asset and Wealth, Mr. Philip Hagedorn. Join us for this exclusive conversation with Mr. Frederick Go as he shares his perspectives on leading with purpose, as well as his insights on the future of the real estate sector and why the country continues to be resilient during these times. If you have any questions, you may send them as early as now by clicking on the Q&A button found below your screen. Before we begin, I'd like everyone to know that this session will be recorded and that the copies will be disseminated as well as posted on all our social media platforms. Also, please do not forget to visit our website. That's www.atram.com.ph for a more detailed information about all the funds that we offer. If you have any friends who you think would like this webinar but are unable to attend, feel free to share the YouTube replay of this session. And of course, visit our YouTube channel. That's at ATRAM Studio. Also, we'd like to invite you all to join ATRAM's official Viber community group. That's hashtag ATRAMPH Community to stay updated on the latest announcements, advisories, and reminders. You may do so by scanning the QR code or visit the link on your screen, and of course, get a chance to win ATRAM merchandise. We'd like this webinar to be as interactive as possible, so please do not hesitate to send in your questions in the Q&A tab all throughout the webinar. For any consumer-related questions, feel free to email Robinsons Land Corporation's Investor Relations team, that's at investor.relations@robinsonsland.com. We'll also be wrapping up with a quick feedback survey after the webinar. So we do hope you can share your thoughts with us about our session for today, and of course on how can we further improve our webinar series. With that, let us all now move on to the part that we all have been waiting for. Today's moderator is none other than ATRAM's Chief Executive Officer for Asset and Wealth, Mr. Philip Hagedorn. Phil, the floor is now yours.
Today is a very special webcast as we feature a multi-awarded entrepreneur, executive, and trailblazer who continuously transforms people's dreams into reality. The President and Chief Executive Officer of Robinsons Land Corporation. He obtained a Bachelor's of Science degree in Management Engineering from the Ateneo de Manila University and was named the 2017 Hall of Fame awardee by the Federation of Ateneo Management Engineers. Our guest today is multi-awarded. He was named 2021 Property Man of the Year by the International Real Estate Federation, 2020 Real Estate CEO of the Year for Southeast Asia in Global Banking and Finance Awards, Enterprise Asia's Entrepreneur of the Year in 2019, Asia Pacific's Entrepreneur Awards and Real Estate Person of the Year in 2017, Philippine Property Awards, the man that changed Philippines' urban landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome Mr. Frederick Go. Well, welcome, Frederick. Good morning.
Good morning, Philip. So nice to be here on your show.
It's our pleasure. It's our honor, actually, to have you here with us today.
And it's my honor.
Really looking forward to a nice discussion.
Yeah, it's my honor.
Well, Frederick, I mean, I guess first I want to start with a little bit of your background. Obviously, everybody knows that you're part of the family, a cousin of maybe the more in the spotlight Lance Rockaway. But maybe talk a little bit about the relationship of this family, because it's a very dynamic group. Many of you guys at second generation really leading the businesses now. Can you maybe share some insights about that dynamic that you have?
Yeah, I think it's generally publicly known that or publicly described as a family-led conglomerate. But actually, I think that there are actually very few of us in the business. There are actually far more professionals running the various businesses of the group. And there are actually only very few of us in the family who are working in the business from my generation. Mm-hmm. And of course, as you pointed out, Lance is the big boss. And there are three of us in the family who run our own business units. So I run Robinsons Land. Robina runs Robinsons Retail, and another cousin, Patrick, runs the petrochemicals business.
Right. Oh, excellent. You folks may not know, but Frederick here is like the oldest sitting director, I think. Sorry, not oldest in age, but longest sitting director of Robinsons Land Corp. I believe you've been a director in Robinsons Land since before the 2000, no? 1999, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I am old.
No, none of us are old. Please. Well, obviously we're stock people here. We're investors. We're asset managers, and maybe it's always good to start the discussion when we're talking about companies about looking at the stock price and making some thoughts and comments about Robinsons Land trading just around the 20 peso range. Obviously, the property sector, as you all know, have been really severely hit by the pandemic. But, you know, things are opening up, and we're optimistic about the next few months and next few years coming over. And so we're going to be hearing at least from one of the leaders about what they think. But what strikes out at me about Robinson's Land is the stock price trading below book value. I mean, you rarely see that. And obviously this pandemic may have influenced a lot of what's happening in the market, and value appearing now in front of us and should be taken advantage. There's many property development companies that are trading above 2 times book value. So maybe, Frederick, if you can talk a little bit about the value of the company you have, the net asset value, because I think, as we know, the simplest way to understand property is what's the value of my land, right? And if you know the value of my land and you're feeling comfortable, you can sleep well at night. So maybe if you can give us some of your thoughts there.
Yeah. Let me start off by saying that management and the board feels that the stock price is extremely undervalued, which is why we proposed and the board approved a 3 billion stock buyback program just a few months ago. And it's not an empty stock buyback program. If you monitor our activity, we have been buying on the board every single day. We've been buying back shares every single day, every single trading day. So I think that is the probably the strongest show of confidence that we believe that the company is worth a lot more than what the stock price is reflecting. So today our market cap is roughly about 100 billion pesos. And you know that we recently listed RCR, or RL Commercial REIT Incorporated. And today the market cap of RCR is 74 billion pesos. So you can see that, and RCR represents about 2/3 of our office portfolio. So you can see that with 2/3 of one portfolio alone is already 74% of our
74%. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of clear.
What are we getting for free?
You're getting basically everything else for free, right? So you're getting our 53 malls for free. You're getting our hotels for free. You're getting our industrial estates for free. You're getting our Robinson's Homes business for free. Our RLC residences, condominium businesses for free. Our massive land bank. Our integrated.
So I guess all of you out there that have been looking to buy property and buy homes, and the prices have shot up right under your nose, you can buy everything at a discount here.
Yeah,
no, it's fantastic. It's really amazing how a pandemic can really cause this dislocation. You know?
Yeah, and we have all these destination estates, like the 30-hectare Bridgetown estate, the 200-hectare Montclair estate, and the 18-hectare Sierra Valley destination estate. You know, all these estates alone are, in my opinion, are already worth the market cap of the company.
Alone, okay. Where are these estates? Just to share with the audience here.
Yeah, the Bridgetown destination estate straddles Pasig City and Quezon City. The Montclair estate is in Pampanga, just out of Clark. We're the first exit on the SCTEX after Clark when you're heading to Subic. And the third one is our Sierra Valley estate, which is in Cainta and Taytay, Rizal. No? So just 15 minutes away from the Ortigas Central Business District.
Right. How does that infrastructure excite you? I mean, because I think over the last 5 or 6 years, we've had a lot of projects awarded. Many of them are on their way to being built, completed. Is going to take a while, but we're on our way. And what excites me, at least, is this corridor between Clark, Metro Manila, and Lucena City, heading south. What do you see there, and how are you positioned there?
Oh, we're very, very excited about that. No, and thank you for talking about Clark. Actually, the JG Summit Group is part of a consortium that owns Lipad, no, which is the operator of the Clark Airport. Pre-pandemic, just before the pandemic hit in 2019, Clark handled 4 million passengers, no, and that was about, I think, I can't remember the exact number now, but it was a huge, huge growth from 2018. And we were looking at going up to 4.6 million passengers in 2020, but the pandemic came. And we think that, with NAIA so congested, all that growth will essentially be going to Clark. And if you have been to Clark recently, you'll see the huge developments in Clark. No? So we're very excited about that part north of the metropolis, which is why we picked up the 200-hectare property just outside Clark, and we built our own interchange. So Montclair will have its own interchange.
Right. Oh, okay.
And it will definitely feed off the enthusiasm or the excitement in Clark with our own Montclair developments. Or Montclair
200 hectares. That's about as big as downtown Makati, no? More or less.
Yeah. So
we're
putting So we're putting everything there. No, we're putting an industrial estate. We're putting residential estates. We're also putting a shopping center and other commercial and institutional facilities. So it will be a complete township where people can live, work, play, and dream.
This talk about the rail to Clark. Is that real? I mean, are you going to have a stop there? Is there anything that you can share in terms of progress? Yeah, I know you're not involved as a group, but obviously the interest is there.
Yes. The Department of Transportation, I think just a few months ago, awarded the railway project. It's supposed to be a high-speed rail that will go all the way to Metro Manila. And the last stop north is in the Clark Airport. So the Clark Airport will have a high-speed train that will run through Bulacan, Manila, and I think it will end in Makati.
Excellent. I mean, that's a dream come true if once that happens. I mean, my understanding is there's actually work being done. There's engineers on the ground and construction already happening for that. So that's good.
Yeah, it's a much awaited project. I think if you recall, maybe 12 years ago, there was already that intention to build that high-speed railway, running from Metro Manila to Clark, and it got stymied. But I'm glad to know that it's going ahead now.
How do you see these townships evolving? I mean, in terms of what we're used to seeing, maybe what was developed in the NCR as townships like Alabang and things like that. How do you see it being different? What are you guys thinking of there?
I think townships are going to become more and more popular. After this pandemic, I think a lot of people have experienced a new way of living. For one, I think people want to live and work not far from each other. So people, I think, will want to avoid 2-hour commute.
2-hour commute is dead.
Yeah, so I think people really want to live and work near each other. Right. So townships, the role of townships are becoming more and more important. So now, like for example, in our Bridgetown estate, we're designing the western side to be the work side, right? So all the offices, the BPO offices, so we have office buildings there called the Exa, Zeta, Terra, Giga Towers. We're also going to have a shopping mall and a hotel. And then on the eastern side, it will be mostly residential components, so that all people have to do is cross that bridge and they're already at work. And we're designing now the estates to have more and more open space, to have more and more green space. I think that people more and more believe in doing their share for the planet. So a lot of people believe in sustainability, and we're trying to design our estates to live up to that expectation, to do our share in protecting the planet and helping preserve our planet for future generations. So I
Will it
think
be affordable to live in these places? I mean, you see the price being fair, and I guess some of these areas are outside major CBDs. So how do you
yeah,
see
I think
that?
it's always priced, I think, fairly. At least in our case, I'd like to think that we price according to what the market can take. No? And
Mhm.
we also always take that into consideration. No? It would be senseless to build and price something outside of the market's capacity, then your project just wouldn't sell. So I guess
Right, right.
the best test to that would be that the projects we've launched have been very well received by the market. Our office buildings, for example, I think are priced very attractively, hence our extremely high occupancy rates in our office building. And in our residential condos, like the first condo we launched there, which is our Cirrus building, is 100% sold out. So I think that's a testament to us building to what the market wants.
I think many of you out there might not know that Robinson's Land has also partnered with really world leaders in property development. And maybe, Frederick, you can share some of those relationships that you have with these folks.
Yeah, we have two partnerships with the big giant global names, no, very respected global names. The first one is with the Shangri-La Group. So we have a joint venture with them in BGC, a project called Aurelia. And we have a second joint venture with them, a project in the Bridgetown Destination Estate. So we have two projects with them. And then with Hong Kong Land, again, another Asian giant and well-respected name. We have three buildings in Bridgetown with them. The first one is called Velaris, and also very well received by the market. So I think we're quite proud that that these big reputable companies in Asia or in the world have chosen Robinson's Land to be their partner in the Philippines. I think it also speaks highly of the quality of Robinson's Land and the quality of the management team.
Oh, excellent. I think it's very exciting, and it's great to see that these large global developers see an opportunity in the Philippines, no? And I think that speaks a lot of the opportunity out there. So maybe I'm going to switch gears. Well, not switch gears completely, but we'll talk a little bit about the malls. I know all of you have been dying to go back to malls, and the malls are slowly opening up. And Robinsons has been a kind of a trailblazer in terms of putting out these malls in the provinces. No, be the first to set up in maybe secondary cities or first primary cities that are growing. Maybe can you share a little bit about the experience now? How are these malls coming back? Do you think anything's going to change with the behavior of people? And what maybe the early days of the opening days, what are the signals we're seeing?
Well, Philip, two things there now that you talked about. One is that we're quite big in the provinces. You know, because of this pandemic, it has served us very well because, you know, the effects of the pandemic in the provinces was much less than in the national capital region. And so our malls in certain provinces were very, very quick to rebound. A lot of our malls there performed better than our malls here in Metro Manila. I think secondly, we think that, you know, there's a lot of revenge spending, a lot of revenge visits in our malls. Our malls now are doing extremely well the first 3 months of the year. Of course, January had Omicron, right? But February and March did extremely well. April continues to be right on track to recover from the pandemic. I think right now we're only about, I'd say about 15% below pre-pandemic levels, which means we're 85% recovered. No? Right. And I think that's excellent sign for the shopping center business.
What was that number last year? Were you at like 50%? Or
of course, last year we had, I think, 2 lockdowns, so it depends which month of last year. But I think last year was generally somewhere between 50 to maybe 70%.
Okay. Well, it's interesting because your EPS was very close to the 2019 level already, notwithstanding that the malls were still primarily shut down. No, I mean, so I think that's another bit of upside that we're looking for this year. We hope, obviously, geopolitical issues that we're dealing with right now, we have no control over. But as long as we open up the economy, I think we'll see folks going back to normals, so to speak.
Yeah, well, thank you for pointing that out. No, you're right. Our 2021 numbers were already very, very close to 2019. Hence, we were saying that definitely in 2022 we're gonna exceed already 2019 levels. So in short, we're already beyond talking about going back to pre-pandemic levels. Our profitability will already surpass pre-pandemic levels. But I'd just like to put a further explanation to that. We also benefited from the profitability of our China business. No? We have a project in Chengdu, China, which did extremely well, and that helped contribute to the bottom line in 2021, and it will also help contribute to the bottom line in 2022.
Excellent. Wow. So, I mean, China, I guess you've been hearing a lot about them lately. Markets have been rocked there. Property sector a little bit shaken, but seems it's worked out for you guys well.
Yeah, it worked out well for us. I just want to point out, maybe, I don't know when exactly we will book the 2022 income, no? But we booked the 2021 income from China in the first quarter, and it's likely that we will book the 2022 income from China in the second quarter. So there might be a timing difference when you compare quarter versus same period.
Got it. Got it. Okay, excellent. So Frederick, it's really good to hear that CEOs are thinking already post-pandemic. I think obviously the pandemic was very difficult for everybody. Companies had to be agile, adjust, something like what we're doing today. This is born out of that experience. How has it affected Robinson Land and the learnings that you've had during the pandemic, and what you might think of as bringing into the company?
Yeah, I think one thing that the pandemic taught us is that digitalization really is the future, no? And that we have to embrace digitalization. And one thing we've done in the company is to digitalize processes to make life easier for internal customers, meaning our own workforce, our own employees. So we've taken a lot of steps to help make life easier by adopting digital processes inside. Like, for example, instead of manually signing documents or manually signing contracts or purchase orders, we can now sign them, say, on some electronic file, no? Like maybe a DocuSign or an Adobe sign, right, or PDF signing, things like that. We've also taken that opportunity to digitalize a lot of our processes. So we've come up with things like what we call the buyer's portal and the seller's portal, right? So we have thousands of sales agents, so we can communicate with them now through the seller's portal. They can get an update of what inventory is available, the pricing of our condominium units, their commissions, when are their commissions due, and things like that on the seller's portal. Our buyers, likewise, they have a lot of frequently asked questions. So instead of them having to call or come in to find out when is their next payment due, what's the construction status of the building they bought, they can check all of that in the buyer's portal. So we've taken a lot of those steps. And I think it's really made life easier both for the internal customer and the external customer. That's one of the things I really espouse here within the company, trying to make life easier for everybody.
That's really interesting. I mean, I think everybody is thinking, what does digitization mean to their own company and business? And I've never really tried to connect it to property, but I can see now how it could be a very powerful tool. Super.
Yeah, maybe I can also add how how the rise of e-commerce is an opportunity for us. You know, we think that e-commerce will make life easier for our customer and for our tenants, no? The retail tenants in our malls. So we've created a portal like Mall Dash. So it's an online Robinsons Mall e-commerce platform which allows customers to shop from multiple tenants in a single transaction. So you can go on the Mall Dash and, for example, your kid can order a pizza. Your son can order maybe say swimming trunks from the Robinsons department store. Your daughter can order pizza from Shakey's. The mom can order some items from grocery items from Robinsons supermarket, and maybe the dad can buy a shampoo from a cosmetic store. No? So you can put all that order into Mall Dash, and the mall will dash it to your home. We'll take care of sending that to you. And we've also created other what I'd like to call integration of offline and online experiences. So we can't completely go online, right? There still has to be an offline experience. We are, after all, a mall. After all, is as brick and mortar as you can get. No? We physically built the shopping center. So we have things like the Robinsons Malls app, which allows customers to go look at the directory, get store information, deals, discounts. Then they can go to the shop and avail of such discounts. We also have what we call pickup station. So you can order online and then meet the shop you ordered from at the pickup station to pick up your goods. If you don't want to get down from your car or have to walk through 200 steps to get to your store of choice, you can just choose to pick it up at the pickup station. We also have for example, a Robbie and Rossi service, concierge service. So you could also call Robbie or Rossi at your favorite Robinsons Mall, and that's the offline. That's the online side, right? And then Robbie or Rossi will go to your stores of choice and pick up the items you want to buy, arrange the payments for you, and then probably pick up a Grab delivery service to send it to your house. So we have a lot of these offline to online experiences that we're trying to marry together to make, as I say, life easier for the customer.
I mean, I think it's very innovative to have the property development company offering that service. I mean, I think normally you'd see that with standalone marketplaces or Lazadas and these guys, but I guess you do have a opportunity there, and it's interesting that you take these opportunities and risks, but I think it's well thought out.
Thank you.
I guess another sector that has been affected severely by the pandemic is tourism. Personally, that's a sector that I feel really can provide many jobs to the economy over the long run, especially as we open up and the world gets back to normal. The tourism sector is a big hope for the Philippines, and with the infrastructure being built and all of this, I think the golden age of infrastructure is really about to start. What do you think the Philippines needs most with regards to tourism, and what's Robinsons Land doing about it in this industry?
I think what we need is for tourism to really flourish in our country is we need to give the international visitors a seamless experience. Going through the airport, transferring from an international airport to a domestic airport, and then moving from the domestic airport to the resort. We really need to make that whole experience seamless, and try to resolve all the pain points a customer has to go through to really enjoy their their visit to the Philippines and boast about it. You know, in this day and age where everybody has a social media,
you need an Instagram post.
Instagram post or a Facebook post, and the last thing you want them to post is just landed in the Philippines. What a nightmare! You know, what you want them to say is just landed in the Philippines. It's paradise. So I think that's there's a lot of effort that's needed. I think to make sure that that entire experience is seamless. And you know, from the private sector, I think what we really just want is consistency, a level playing field on doing tourism projects. Unfortunately, it's always not the case. It's always.
I think we need like a cohesive plan, because my experience, I guess, is that in many other countries in the world, I mean, you can go Spain and Thailand, Indonesia, they really decide, you know, this is going to be the spot that we're going to focus on generating mass tourism. We love to build 40 casita hotels in this country, but that doesn't really solve the problem of mass tourism, you know, and we want to be able to attract Asians, Europeans, Americans, and not just the ones that can pay $1,500 a night, right? So does a plan need to have that? Because you can't fly into Naiya. I can't ever imagine that you're going to land in Naiya and saying, this is paradise, right? You're better off landing in a new airport somewhere in Palawan, and maybe you'll get that reaction. Do you think that's required to do that, so that you have a bit of concentration of these large hotels? I guess my best example is Mactan today, because Mactan has the airport and all of these hotels that are, you know, right around it, and quite efficient, right? But is that something we need? Central, it's like a BGC for tourism, where everybody invests and takes a position in this opportunity.
You know, I think that's an excellent idea you have, Philip. I think maybe the government can take some can create some points of action based on what you just suggested.
It's just missing. You know, when you think about where is the mass tourism here, and it's Clark, maybe it's Tagaytay would be a guess.
But
the island of Palawan to me is where it can be done in a very sustainable, 2021 way, and I wish we can get that going.
I'll just take off from your first suggestion of Cebu. Actually, that's where Robinson's Land is really focused on. We opened a five-star Dusitani five-star Dusitani hotel in Mactan, Cebu, just before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit. So it's really a beautiful hotel, and I guess it leverages on what you're talking about, a beautiful airport, critical mass, global popularity. Everybody in China, for example, and Korea and Japan knows Cebu, and knows about Mactan, Cebu. So,
right.
So we invested there. Really five-star, beautiful resort in Mactan, Cebu. And then this year, we're opening the Philly Hotel. We really believe in the Filipino hospitality. We believe that it is world famous. So we're opening our own, what we call Filipino five-star hotel. Like Thailand has Dusit, Singapore has Raffles, Malaysia has Shangri-La, and etc. But the Philippines does not have its own five-star hotel brand. So Robinson's Land now is taking on that challenge. So we're building the Philly Hotel. So Philly is short for Filipino, right? And we hope to take this brand international to leverage on the global global recognition of Filipino hospitality. So we're opening our first Philly hotel in New Star, Cebu. So Cebu City will host the first Philly hotel next month. We're opening the Philly hotel next month. So maybe you can come and visit us someday and
love to.
do justice to the Filipino brand of hospitality.
So how many hotels do you have now and the brands that they fall under?
We have three categories of brands, no, for our hotels. So in the affordable segment, we have the Go Hotel brand. And then we created a Summit brand, which is like our 4-star brand. And then we have what we call the international brands. So for example, we have the Crown Plaza Hotel in Ortigas, the Holiday Inn Hotel in Ortigas Center, the upcoming Westin Hotel, also here in the Ortigas Center, and then the Dusitani hotel brand in Mactan, Cebu, right? So these are our 4 international hotel brands in our portfolio.
Fantastic.
And then lastly, we created now our own luxury brands. No? So that's the Philly, Filipino brand that I just talked about, and then the New Star Hotel, which will be our 6-star local brand, no? Our own local, locally or homegrown, home-created luxury 6-star brand hotel. So today, just to answer your question, we have roughly about 3,800 rooms in our portfolio.
Thank you very much for that. Tourism is a big hope for the country, and we look forward to the Robinsons Hotels to really be a big part of that. Maybe before we close out, let's touch a little bit on sustainability. ATRAM is very proud of our work there. We've launched a fund recently, about a year ago, which has really done very well on the back of sustainability as being our anchor research. How does Robinsons Land think about sustainability? What are you doing to implement and integrate sustainability in your businesses?
Yeah, we take sustainability very seriously. In fact, I put it in my personal CEO scorecard. So sustainability is right there on my scorecard. We're very proud that, Robinsons Malls, for example, we have the largest rooftop solar installation in the country, probably also in the world for our own use. We have 24 malls with about 31 megawatts of renewable energy capacity. That's equivalent to about 1.3 million trees planted. So very proud about that. We were the innovator. We were the first to do that in our country. We also believe in taking care of our water resources. So we have a lot of water recycling, water conservation, and recovery programs in our malls and in our office buildings. We also have solid waste management in our various malls and office buildings and residential buildings that we do in connection with other very publicly recognized organizations to make sure that we treat waste, we handle waste properly. And we also have LEED, or what they call green buildings, certification. We have in fact LEED Gold and LEED Silver accreditations for several of our buildings. For example, in the Bridgetown Destination Estate, our Terra and Giga Towers are LEED Gold certified. Our Exa and Zeta Towers are LEED Silver certified. So we really take sustainability quite seriously here at RLC.
I mean, that's fantastic. I think, companies that are doing that are proving to be better performers. People want to work for them. And that I think is going to be the future. And it doesn't, people tend to think that you sacrifice income by doing this. I think it enhances it, actually, over the long run. So again, very proud of Robinsons Land doing that. Um, and again, we look forward to learning more from what you're doing. At the same time, following as well some of the practices that we learned. So thank you very much. Before we end, I want to just thank Robinson's Land and Frederick here for joining us today. Remember, the book value is 0.8, and a lot of what you heard about today comes for free. So, you don't get many opportunities like that to invest in such a good company. Honestly, you're looking at the PE ratio of about 12 times with growth coming, a price to book below book value, fantastic properties, very strong brands. So, I think, and an opening up of the economy. So that should all work out very well for Robinson's Land and for you, Frederick. We wish you all the best. All the best in managing through. I know we have some turbulent times, primarily because of geopolitical global issues. So thanks for coming. And JP, I think I'll send it back to you.
All right, Phil, thank you very much for that. And of course, thank you very much to Mr. Frederick Go for that very insightful conversation. We'd like also to thank our audience. We appreciate you taking the time to join us today. I'm sure everyone is very interested to know and learn more about ATRAM funds. Please stay tuned to know more.
Good day. If you are interested in investing with ATRAM, the leading independent asset and wealth management company in the Philippines, please visit our website, www.atram.com.ph. We have all the details you would need to know about our funds. If you would like to start investing, click Invest Now. For further assistance and account opening, you may email our client services team. If you have more questions, visit the website's Frequently Asked Questions page or ATRAM Academy page. We hope this helps. Thank you.
There you go. If you have any further questions or would like to learn more about ATRAM, please do visit our website. That's www.atram.com.ph. Join us on our next live stream as we have invited finance entrepreneur and personal finance coach, Ms. Charm De Leon, as she will discuss the truth about couples and money. Join the next live stream event by scanning the QR code, or you may also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Again, if you have any friends who you think and would like this webinar but are unable to attend, feel free to share the YouTube replay of this session, and of course, visit our YouTube channel. That's at ATRAM Studio. We'd like to invite you all again to join ATRAM's official Viber community group. That's #ATRAMPH community to stay updated on the latest announcements, advisories, and reminders. Scan the QR code or visit the link on your screen and of course get a chance to win ATRAM merchandise. Lastly, please answer the survey at the end of this webinar. We'd love to know your thoughts on today's topic. On behalf of everyone here at ATRAM, thank you very much again for your attendance and participation. We wish you and your loved ones continued health and safety. Have a great day, everyone.